James, Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, and we are doing a track by track for one of the most iconic black metal albums ever. Enough that it's quite daunting to even want to talk about it. It is In the Nightside Eclipse by, of course, Emperor. It's the first studio album and fourth official release by Emperor, released in 1994 through Candlelight Records. The only album to feature drummer Faust, who you don't need us to tell you, go Google it, and a one-time bassist to court. Yes, one of the best things about this album, as silly as this sounds, this isn't a negative, like, oh my God, I'm glad it's this way, but it is very concise. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's got a right amount of tracks. It's not like, hey, we're going to do an hour and a half of black metal epics here. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Emperor, for like knowing what was good and keeping it tight, basically. Yeah. So we begin with Into the Infinity of Thoughts. Oh, fucking hell. What an epic and what a way to start this album. The evil build, the eruption of black metal ferocity, with a constant underlying atmospheres. It's very well layered, a truly grand showcase of what makes Emperor so great. Our sound is on fire.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, really. I was trying to imagine what it must have been like, you know, for the first time you listen to Emperor, say their debut release. I know they've had EPs beforehand, but say you just come on board with their debut.
Yeah.
And then the first minute of ever hearing Emperor is the start of this album. And you just must be like, what the fuck? Absolutely hellish, man. It is proper, you know. It does, I do think it sounds like, sound-wise, it doesn't sound great. I think it's got a very retro sound, which kind of works because it's black metal. Whereas in any other genre, we would say it's dated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it works here. Guitars sound good. Vocals are brilliant. You know, you can see why it had such an impact.
Oh, yeah.
I also love the fact that, you know, even at this early stage, going away from the We're So True, you kind of get this subtle choir stuff creeping in near the back end of the track as well.
I always wondered as well, like when I hear it, I wonder how those true black metal fans handled Emperor's like grandiose style that would happen on many of the tracks on this, and if they just like cried about it and said Emperor weren't true black metal anymore because of this.
And now 20 years later, they can't dare say that.
God, no. The Burning Shadows of Silence took, weirdly enough, a more traditional blast, albeit with a score like backdrop for like a fucking movie thing that increases in bombasticness as it reaches its apex.
Yeah, I found the beginning of the song quite messy, but then I found that it settled into like a really brilliant song. Yeah, guitars are good and the drums sound a bit more forward, whereas Into the Infinity of Thoughts, I felt like they were really far back. More choir stuff going on. You know, it's just a great song. It's quite chaotic, and there was times where I found with the song where it was really hard to kind of pick up the rhythm.
Yeah,
I was listening to it, I was enjoying it, but I was like, I don't know what's going on at the moment. You know. But it's okay because it's cool.
Yeah.
And it just makes it better though, doesn't it? Because when it suddenly syncs back up and you catch it, you're like, oh yeah, I'm back in. Oh no, I'm out again.
It's like being in the back of a speedboat where like you've got the thing.
Yeah.
And, okay, it brings us to Cosmic Keys to My Creation and Times. My favorite Emperor song to date. It's actually what got me into them. It's what got my attention. So during when I was first properly investigating black metal, when I discovered Dimmy Borg and all that, and obviously it's like, okay, who are the big black metal hitters? Obviously Emperor came up, and you simply Google Emperor songs. This is one of the ones that came up. I adore this song. The wildness, the epicness, the atmosphere elements. It's weirdly as close as I think they ever get to being catchy.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, it's also one of my favourite songs as well. I love all of it, to be honest. I think it's brilliant. It's so fast and heavy, but it's got a really strong rhythm, which I also found quite catchy. I think it's just so perfectly balanced between in your face raw black metal and then the symphonic kind of epic soundscape. It just treads that line perfectly. Where you couldn't, a fan of symphonic black metal can love it, but a fan of black metal could never put it down. They'd have to also go, no, it's perfectly balanced.
You'd have to stop, look at themselves in a mirror and go, am I being a dickhead here? Yes, you are. But then there's stuff in this for them. Beyond the Great Vast Forest, it's slower, darker tone, plenty of fire destruction to it. I, again, really like it.
Yeah, it's another one I really like as well. Another absolute favourite. Love the balance. I love the keyboards and the heavier instruments in the intro. Yeah. It's one of those songs I find that actually does, I know it's Beyond the Great Vast Forest, but it actually does transport you a little bit. You do kind of feel like you're in a forest. There's something bad happening behind each tree. I think it was easier to click with though as well, though, isn't it? Because it's not quite as it's not as long. It's also not as complex as some of the other songs, which is like it's a bit easier to instantly find the rhythm and kind of be along with it.
Well, that helps. I mean, I think that helps make those grandiose songs sound more important as well.
Yeah,
and I think
not quite as challenging.
And I think that applies towards the Panther as well. It's a haunting intro that bursts into life with some pretty sounding black metal riffs, but it's also quite concise in regards to that too.
Yeah, it's another one. At this point, I was just writing banger after banger now. I think the intro is morbidly beautiful, thunderclap of metal that pulsates through your body. I love the vocals, but then generally do anyway.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they play around with going into the slow down melodies and bringing it back up again and all that, which is my preferred. Sorry about this, to true metal fans, but my preferred take of my preferred type of black metal. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a really, really good song.
Well, hand your black metal card in. You've lost it there.
That's it. I'm out.
Out of the gang.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah. The majesty of the night sky. The rockier riffs stand out like rockier riffs, not so much black metal or metal. Rockier riffs stand out as something different, but Ison's screaming and screeching keeps things quite rooted in black metal. And there's a really insanely frantic ending to this track as well.
Yeah, I think this song is like the most expansive song on the album up to this point.
Okay.
I think there's so much going on, from the sort of pure adrenaline fueled attack, the guitars, like you said, which don't sound really like straight up black metal guitars at all, but they're still great to listen to.
Yeah.
And they're still bedded into the song, right? His vocals again are brilliant. I love the fact that we get like a proper slowdown, where we've got keyboards, drums, and a choir in the background. It comes back up, we get spoken word vocals. I just think like this song for me encompasses everything that Emperor were, more so than any other song up until this point.
Incredible. I Am the Black Wizards. Probably my least favorite track in the album, but that doesn't mean it's a bad track. It's simply because I find it a little bit more forgettable than the rest, but it's still got great atmospheric black metal elements to it.
Yeah, it's probably their most famous song, isn't it? I would have thought. Well, to me it is anyway. I don't know. I do think it's a great song. I think it's a bit of a black metal anthem. I can understand why. I think it's got loads of great stuff. The vocals are very, very strong. Nice blend of symphonic elements, catchy rhythms, all that sort of stuff as well. I think it's a fantastic. For me, it's just a great song. I did actually write, although weirdly enough, it's not one of the ones I would have in my top 3 on the album. But I did write surely this is a track all black metal bands wish they had written.
Yeah, okay, fair dues. I can see that. Okay. Well, we're done. We're done. Beyond a couple of covers, it is Inno a Satana. Fucking hell! I find this track like I find this mesmerizing to listen to. It creates wonder within me. To me, this is Emperor at their very best and most powerful.
Yeah, it's another banger, and it's a fucking great song, man. I love it. All everything about it, you know. And I'm just I feel like I'm just repeating everything on the same song now. It's just like, you know, the drums sound great, the vocals sound great, the mix of choirs, everything's great. Fuck's sake, it's Emperor. That's why they didn't have to write any more albums.
Yeah.
Write a couple. We can't, you know, that's everything wrapped up in 3 albums.
They've done more than enough. Then we get 2 covers, beginning with A Fine Day to Die. It's a Bathory cover, if anyone wants to know. The mood-altering melody, the soft singing, it's such a wonderful build-up. The eruption comes, it's stunning. I love the ferocity in the riffs here, and this is up there as one of my favourite Emperor tracks now. Here's the thing, I hadn't heard this before. I know Bathory, but I don't know Bathory well. In fact, if you ask me what I know about Bathory, I actually know more of his Viking metal stuff later in his career than his black metal stuff. I enjoy that side of Bathory more, and I always think it's a shame he never got to finish what he started because he died. So I wasn't really aware of this song too well. But I went, after hearing this, I went and listened to Bathory's version. Because I was like, well, let me hear what inspired such a, like, what made it, like, if Emperor do it this good, Bathory's a great artist. It must have been great. And it is, but Emperor do it better. It's a better track.
I'm glad, because like I didn't know it was a cover. So for me, I was just like, right, it's an Emperor song. But to be fair, it sounds like they kind of made it their own song anyway. But I thought it's fucking amazing, man. Absolutely brilliant. Fucking, perfect. I love it. It's creepy. It transitions well throughout the song into different kind of passages and rhythms. Nothing at all about it I didn't like. I think it's the perfect song for me, black metal wise. Not just Emperor wise, but black metal wise. I love it.
That's something you'll have to do now, isn't it? You have to check out the bathroom.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And we get the other.
But part of me doesn't want to though. I'm quite happy to just live in ignorance and be like, what's your favourite Emperor song? And I'll just be like, A Fine Day to Die.
Oh, but you lose your Trump card then and be like,
I'm already out though. I'm already out, aren't I?
That's true. And we get the other cover, which is Merciful Fate's Gypsy. I don't like this, I'm afraid. It's out of tune, high-pitched screaming is so off-putting. It's silly the way Emperor do it. It makes me smile in a way, but Merciful Fate, even though it's very similar in the style, it's a better version. This isn't great.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I didn't know this one was a cover. I get that it sounds like they were all having a bit of fun, you know, but I like to try and sort of see this as separate to the main album, because when I see it as part of the album, it ruins the overall feel of it. Mm-hmm. So I like to see it as we ended at A Fine Day to Die, and then this can just be like some sort of bonus track. Job done.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to look at it, really. But overall, this is one of the best black metal albums ever, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
3 tracks then. What we got?
Well, I will have The Majesty of the Night Sky, Inno a Satana, and then my favourite one, A Fine Day to Die.
Close. I'll have Inno a Satana the same, A Fine Day to Die, but I'll have Cosmic Keys to My Creation and Times as well. For my 3. There you go.
Just listen to all of them.
Yeah, basically, this is an album we really should give the time. Listen to the end. You can drop the covers if you want, but do listen to the full album.
Drop one of the covers.
I knew you'd say that. Emperors in the Nightside Eclipse. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?